Right then, so it is, Thursday the 4th of March. It's easy to remember the dates because we started on Monday on the 1st. This is the Motorcycle Diaries. I'm Nick Wilkins, hello. This has been my steed for the last couple of days. Yesterday when I picked up the Bee King and spent today on this, and then I'm going to get back on, I think, the Bandit for a couple of days before I go on to the Bee King, and then I'll take this back on Monday and get the 1198S and get a technical talk with Jinx and the boys at Ducati Coventry. I've been talking about this obviously for the last couple of days, ranting and raving about how much I love this bike. I'm just talking about purely with heart and passion. We've talked about the styling, the engine, you know, it's a Ducati. It's very different to anything else you'll ride. Okay, 9995, it's not the most expensive naked bike around, but you know, it obviously is at the top end of the market, and we've talked about how other bikes, you can still get a lot of bike for less than that. But let's look at why Ducatis are Ducatis. Let's look at why they are different. I mean, just look at the styling on this. You know, it looks like nothing else out there at the moment. I do absolutely love it. We've talked about that twin engine. You know, unless you're getting a big Buell, there's not many other big twins out there that are going to give you this amount of fun. But the biggest thing I'd say is as well is, I know I hate to use this word too much, but manageability. You could really ride this every day. And the difference is, I think, between this and a lot of other, say, commuters or something that would be a lot cheaper, is the amount of grin it does give you. And, you know, at the end of the day, you're riding a Ducati. It's my first Ducati. I'm always going to remember this for the rest of my life. And I do like it. I've got a thing for it. I had a couple of people at work just come up to me. That's growing towels, by the way, just where I finished my show today, and just say, wow, you've got a Monster. How cool is that? Guys who aren't bikers, but they know about the Monster and they know about Ducati's brand. I got to admit, I think it looks beautiful. I'm still absolutely loving these little kind of air vents here. Loving the way it's styled. There's a little bit of dust from the overnight parking. Everything about it, even the key fob, looks wicked. You know? But I'm going to have to give you some of my final thoughts on this in a bit. I'm going to take it now, bit of a blast on the motorway, some A-roads to go to Tamworth Snowdome so I can carry on my snowboarding lessons. Let you know how I do on the ride there, and then I'll be bowling back later on about rush hour, so it'll be interesting to see how it manages all the traffic and everything then. But as I say, been riding it for a couple of days, it's made a hell of an impression on me so far. It's a Ducati Monster. It's making me grin. Here we are at the Tamworth Snowdome, the mighty Tamworth Snowdome, it must be said. I've just got back from an awesome hour lesson with my instructor. That's my 7th hour. Today we were just going on carving after doing a 6-foot kicker last time and rails, and I was breaking my neck again. It was nice just to get back onto that. And it's interesting, just chatting to you guys in the change rooms, they immediately said, how does it compare riding a bike to snowboarding? And it is very similar. It's a lot about balance, it's a lot about leaning into things and feeling the edge of limit on everything, if you know what I mean. And it's probably quite apt because there she blows. My Ducati 1100 Monster, and I ride down here, put a massive grin on my face. I'm the only person that turned up to snowboarding like that, and finishes snowboarding like that, and then gets home like that. In fact, I've been trying to put into words what it is that's so special about this bike and why I like it so much, because, you know, as I say, practicality, my brain is kind of telling me, which I'm not a very practical person anyway, you can get something like the Bee King for 8,100, you can get something like the FZ1, you can get, I don't know, the CB1000R, all very different inline 4 bikes using routine superbike engines and everything else for less. But what I love about this is, it's a Ducati Monster. It's put a massive grin on my face. There is nothing like a big twin. You know, and it's whether you compare, would you prefer a big twin over a beautiful inline 4? A big twin is just so shouty and loud and immediate, and that's what this is all about. This is, you know, I'm not saying I want to ride it for 6 hours and do a big long trek, and I'm sure you could, but you know, if you want to do something like that, you get a tour. But this, just for like hour blasts around town on the motorway, it's just so much fun, and quite simply, there is just nothing like it. You know, it is a Ducati Monster. I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. And I'm just trying to work out, you know, how you can justify spending 10 grand on it. And I could justify spending 10 grand on it, to be honest with you, because of that character, because of that personality, because it is very, very different. As I say, the only thing that I can think of that I've ridden that would be compared to it would be one of the big Buell, of the 1125R or the XBSX twins, that XB9SX even. But this is great because it has just got that raw power. It looks sexy, you know, it hasn't got mapping, ECU mapping that you can change, hasn't got things like that, but you don't really want it. You just want it to be itself, you just want it to be a monster. It's not the most powerful, it's not the quickest, but what it does is its own inimitable style. That's a word I almost didn't pronounce. Anyway, I'm going to get back on this now, take it back on the motorway and on some A-roads to get back to Brum. It's about a 45-minute, half-hour journey, if that, and yeah, I'm going to have some fun, and I'll catch you in a bit on the other side, as they say. So there she is. I'm going to be very honest with you now. I've fallen for this bike a little bit. There's a lot of romanticism behind the fact that I was wanting a Ducati Monster, the fact that this is my first Ducati. I almost wanted to, you know what, if I'm being honest, I wanted to find it wrong and have loads of faults and everything, but wow, it's really, really grabbed me, and it's grabbed me with its heart and its soul. It's grabbed me with the fact. But where should we start? I'm going to start at the front and work back. First up, the ABS. Brilliant. You know, Really, really works. The design, the looks, we talked about lows. I love the naked kind of chassis there with the trestle out. I love the exhaust system they've got. I like the front, very much like the speed humps. The engine, wow. Now it revs up to, as I say, about 8,500 revs. Difference between having a big twin and having a big inline four, but trying to think about how I can summarise it. I've talked about how the power comes in chunks, or the power comes really smoothly with the four. I suppose the difference is you use all the power you have in this, you know. You get up in this top gear and you've taken it through the rev ranges. Bosh, you're only doing like maybe 100, 120 or whatever, but you've used all that power in a huge superbike, you know, unless you get above 12,000 revs. And I've got a friend who's had a Ducati 1000, never taken above 8,000 revs. This is, what's the point? Well, that's the power bands at, like, you know, 10 to 12,000, 10 to 40,000. Well, it doesn't matter, I don't need it. At least with this, you're going to be using all of that power. The sound is like nothing else out there. It's a big twin. You know, imagine having some aftermarket cams on this as well. I've been enjoying the sound just as it is with the standard ones on. Handles, because of the way that it's designed with the chassis and the frame, and it can tilt you forward over these handlebars, you can see there, brilliantly. Really, really does. You know, you can really chuck this around. I've not had any scary moments on it, as I say. The ABS as well, you grab a handful of brake, you're not going to have any trouble. So in other words, as much as I'd like to pick faults in it, I can't. I love the style, I love the engine, I love the power, I love the handling. I love the, well, you know, I've only had it obviously for, what, a few days, but the practicality side of it is something you just get on and ride, you know. You're not on a full-on racer, you're not having to really switch on, you just jump on, bosh, head off to the shops, you're laughing. You want to commute in it, you can do that. Just take it on a track. I think you'd scare a lot of the big boys with that twin power and immediate torque. But yeah, she's really, really grabbed me now. Obviously, as I've talked about this, she's in the category up against Speed Triple, FZ1, Honda CBR, or CB1000R, all those kind of bikes, including the Beaking over there, the Suzuki Beaking, which I'll be riding in a few days' time. Makes it tricky. It's practically, you know, there are probably better, more reliable bikes out there. Well, I wouldn't say better, different ones, you know, inline fours with loads of different mappings, ECUs, all the toys and everything on. But while my head would probably say save money, get something like a Beaking, get a CB1000R with a real racing engine or anything, I think my heart would be very tempted to buy this. Not just its looks, it's unique, it's different, it's got that passion. I mean, look at it, look at it. But yeah, and it's just put a massive grin on my face. I'm going to be putting this away for a couple of days now until I take it back to Ducati next week. Oh, have I told you what they're giving me next? Oh, the 11.9 AS. Yeah! That's going to be a hell of a bike to ride. I'm going to spend a few days on the Bandit before I move on to the Beaking, and then it will be the VFR, then it will be the 1198, then it will be the Rocket 3 Triumph. So many good bikes coming out that I'm going to be doing in the next few days. And also tomorrow, I'm going to be solving my problem with my hands, because with this amazing all-in-one rucker suit, and I'm not just saying it obviously because I'm wearing the gear, it really, you don't feel a thing, you know, you really do. You can ride in snow, rain, it's nothing, but my gloves have been letting me down. I've got some good winter gloves, but they're not enough, so I'm getting some Storm Shield XE02s on Friday, and they're kind of like 120 quid or whatever, but you can plug them into your battery and they're heated, and I've been working out with some long rides we're doing down to Honda's head office in Slough and things like that. Should be perfect. Anyway, I've had a wicked day. Good radio show, tick. So much fun riding on the Ducati. In fact, there was one memory I've got to tell you about coming back on the M42, just coming to Brum before you get on the M6. There was this lovely moment where you kind of came over a plateau in the road, and it all dipped away, and the sun was setting, the whole sky was red, and I was on a Ducati red Monster. And for that moment, I had the biggest grin in my face. But to be fair, all the time I've been riding this, I had a grin on my face. And yeah, I'm going to put this away as a safety days now, get on the Bandit, which is a brilliant, capable, practical, sensible bike, and I'll have a lot of fun on it because I know you can ride it. For pure passion and soul, you can see how much I've been moved, and I really have been, by this Ducati Monster. It's always been one of my dream bikes, and I was almost kind of disappointed before I got it, and I'm really glad to say that it's lived up to those kind of boyhood expectations of just putting a huge grin on your face. It's like skiing and snowboarding, you know. You can go and get a Honda CB1000R or an FZ1, and you're going to have a wicked time, you know. Technically, I suppose it's the faster bike, it's probably got more power, all that kind of stuff, but like I say, skiers versus snowboarders. Skiers go down looking amazing, graceful, all this. Snowboarders go down with a big grin on their faces. Same with that. You ride this bike anywhere, you'll have a massive grin on your face. Yeah, you might get taken by guys on bigger bikes, faster bikes, that kind of stuff. You might have guys, you know, saying to you, well, it's just a twin, it's not an inline four, but you'll be the one riding around with a huge smile on. So, Ducati Monster made a big impression on me. Until next time, my friends, ride safe.